81333. Start your text with CWR, please, this morning.
Phil Upton.
BBC CWR.
Let's go back to this story, shall we, of the woman sent 23 parking fines despite having a parking permit for the staff car park at where she works. Mary Bates works at Warwick Hospital and has built up this collection of fines that amount to more than her monthly wage. The NHS outsourced their car parking to a local company called Smart Parking, and they'd updated their ANPR cameras, the automatic number plate recognition cameras, and Mary's car was triggered as unrecognised. She's been telling BBC CWR's Ushma Mystery about how all this started.
It was 27th of June that I got 5 parking fines through the post. But after another 5-6 days, I got another 7 parking fines. Total, at the moment, we're standing at 23 parking fines. They are outstanding £85 each. If I pay them early, they're £50. And I think they say within 28 days of paying, otherwise they go to court. I emailed them to say, look, I've got multiple parking fines. Please, can you sort this out? I do pay monthly. And they emailed me back a generic email saying that, sorry, none of the parking fines can be discussed individually, so you will have to appeal for each one separately. So 23 appeals later, I've only got 1 cancelled so far, and I've had to go through our estates at NHS. They said, oh, no, you're fine, just ignore them. I'm still in the process of trying to sort that. It's more than a monthly wage of bills currently. It's getting towards the deadline, so I'm hoping I don't have to go to court.
Now, since Mary gave us that interview, Smart Parking, which operate the staff car park at Royal Hospital, have said that Miss Bates is registered on the site, used the car park without issue on a number of occasions, but having recently changed some of the technology at the site, unfortunately didn't pick up that Miss Bates had already paid. We've issued some charges in error. We've rectified that error and have written to her to confirm all charges sent in error have now been cancelled. Good news for Mary. What about if it happens to you? Scott Dixon is an expert in consumer and motorist disputes. He's known as the Complain Resolver. Hi, Scott.
Hiya, Phil. How are you?
Very good. I don't regale a title quite as nice as yours there, Scott, but you're a good man to have on this story. I mean, listen to Mary's case there. Does that happen a lot?
It happens a lot, Phil, and the first thing I would stress is that it's not a fine. Private parking operators cannot fine you. What they do is they issue parking charge notices for an alleged breach of contract for parking on private land. And only councils can fine you for infringements on public highways. But that's not to say you can ignore it. And what Mary and anybody else who's hit with an unfair parking ticket in a hospital car park can do is speak to Patient Advice and Liaison Service. The acronym is PALS.
Right.
And you can ask PALS to cancel it. And if they say, oh, there's nothing we can do, well, there is. Just be polite and insistent and tell them, you don't want to be fobbed off. You want them to sort it out. And if they can't sort it out, speak to the CEO of the hospital trust, because they ought to be made aware of this and they can also intervene as well.
Right. Okay. So you can literally go to the top. The big enchilada at the hospital.
Dealing with these private parking operators, because the system is designed to be as unhelpful as possible, because it is essentially a money-making racket. It's not there to assist you in any shape or form.
Yeah. I mean, there's been references in the back and forth we've had with the statements from people here that a recent change in legislation regarding parking. Tell me a bit about the private parking code of practice I was reading about last night. What's this all about, Scott?
Well, this is on the back of the UK government legislation that was going to be introduced it was set to be introduced in June 2022, but it was shelved because the legal challenge was made by the private parking industry. So the private parking industry wrote their own single code of practice, which is routinely flouted. I can tell you that. But what do you
mean? What do you mean flouted? In what way?
Well, I see problems all the time, Phil. And to give you an example, I'm dealing with a case for an elderly couple in Rochdale. And they drove into a car park. It was free after 6 o'clock at night. And a single photo, time-stamped, was sent on a parking charge notice saying that they need to pay for a breach of contract. And this was at 9:03, and it was a single photo time-stamped, but it doesn't show a period of parking.
Right.
So one single photo of a car time-stamped in a car park doesn't prove anything because it doesn't tell you the start and the end period of parking. So it's not enforceable. Yet, you lodge appeals, and these appeals are just automatically rejected. That's my point when it comes to the single code of practice. And keying errors as well, that's a big problem as well.
Okay, it's good to know that exists. I mean, part of that piece we're hearing about there was the evident lack of free parking in Coventry and Warwickshire. I'm guessing there'll be many people, Scott, listening to this morning in very much the same position as Mary. I guess it's important to keep things like your parking ticket or proof or receipt that you did park validly.
Yes, always keep your evidence. So keep your receipts, screenshots of any payments. And if you can't scope this, it's always problems with the signage in car parks. So, but if you can't take photos of the signs, what you can do is go onto Google Street View, and you can scope the car park and take screenshots that way.
Good advice.
But if you're caught if you get an unfair private parking ticket in a supermarket car park or a gym, the easiest way to cancel it is to speak to customer services, and try and avoid engaging with a private parking operator because you're just going to be stonewalled. So. Okay. Get a confirmation in writing because the customer services are generally very good if you just ask them if they can cancel it. But going back to the private parking code that you mentioned earlier, there is a consultation out for people to have their say. And it ends on the 5th of September 2025. And you can look it up online and you can have your say on how you think the UK government private parking code should be shaped to regulate this, try and enforce a proper code of practice on this industry.
Okay, we'll look that up, Scott. Fascinating. Thank you very much indeed. Scott Dixon, you can find what he does at the complaintsresolver.co.uk. The Complaints Resolver, all one word, .co.uk. Consumer expert, money saving, how to complain, get the most out of it. And if you want to find a bit more about code of practice, under consultation until September the 5th. Just type in new code parking, new code of practice, it'll come up for you. Oh, by the way, we did get a statement from South Warwickshire University NHS Foundation Trust, aware of the issue raised in relation to parking fines issued to a member of our staff. Our dedicated car parking team has been working with the individual and has investigated the matter thoroughly. Appropriate action is being taken to resolve it. Reassured by that? We'll wait and see, shall we?